Terrors from the Sky, written by Destroyer-Metron Mark 8. Don't look, Gregtha warned. It'll know. Gregtha was hidden high among the trees. He was a Jukla of the hunter class. His mottled green skin blended with the leaves, rendering him all but invisible. His 6 limbs were gnawed with muscle and scar tissue, the mark of 1,000 hunts. 2 of his claws and several of his sharp teeth were missing, but their loss did not lessen his danger. Gregtha was the oldest and best hunter in the Hidden Lands. How can it know anything? Janza argued. Janza was not of Gregtha's tribe. He belonged to the Zinza, the largest and most powerful group in the Hidden Lands. Janza was a powerful warrior. Unfortunately, he was also an idiot. We are downwind, and the creature is nearly 3,000 nagas away. It'll know, Gregtha hissed. Stop looking. The creature in question was... Gregtha didn't know what it was. It had climbed out of a big shiny rock that had fallen from the sky. The creature wasn't much bigger than Gregtha, but it was horribly misshapen. It had only 4 limbs. It stood on 2 of them. Its head was small and round and topped with fur. It only had 2 eyes. Its skin was pale and all of one color. It wore false furs over much of it. Janza shifted all 4 of his eyes to Gregtha. Is that fear I hear in your voice, Gregtha? His 6 nostrils fled. Is that fear I smell? Of course it is, Gregtha spat. Now be quiet and be still. If it finds us, we will die. Janza snorted. The legendary Gregtha afraid? Perhaps the tales of you were exaggerated, eldest hunter. For a brief mad moment, Gregtha considered ripping Janza's throat out. The other warrior was nearly twice his size, but the old hunter was confident that he could kill the fool before Janza would react. It would mean his death, of course. Janza's death throes would bring the monster down on his head. Even if Gregtha escaped the creature's notice, the other Zinza would kill him for murdering their favored warrior. In the end, sanity prevailed. Gregtha had not survived as long as he had by giving in to foolish impulses. I fear no hunter, he said softly, no warrior, no beast. I have hunted and killed things alone that entire tribes were fearful to face. But that thing... It doesn't look that frightening to me, Janza replied. Look at it, eldest hunter. Look at how small its jaws are. That thing is not a warrior or a beast, Gregtha continued, as if the fool hadn't spoken. It is a nightmare, a terror from the sky. My tribe's warriors thought as you do, thought that it was helpless. I knew better. I warned them. They refused to hear. The creature in question froze. Panic shot down Gregtha's limbs. Janza opened his stupid mouth again, but 2 of Gregtha's limbs slammed it shut. Silence, the hunter hissed. Don't look. Be quiet and still. Miracle of miracles, the idiot Janza did as he was told. He averted his gaze and kept perfectly still. Gregtha didn't know if he'd recognized the urgency in Gregtha's voice, or if the deep-down survival instinct had warned the warrior. Gregtha didn't care. All that mattered was that the monster didn't find them. There was silence for several seconds. Then Gregtha heard the faint whisper of a lower limb brushing against grass. He risked a glance. The monster had resumed its steady, careful walk. Even better, it was moving away from the hunter's hiding spot. Gregtha waited another minute, letting the creature increase the distance. Then he slowly and quietly released his hold on Janza's jaw. What was that? Janza demanded. His belligerent tone was much more subdued this time, and he kept his voice down. What just happened? I warned you, Gregtha whispered back. They can feel when they are watched. I do not know how, but they can. Gregtha looked Janza over. The warrior caste was not as suited to hiding as the hunters. Janza was twice Gregtha's size. His skin was red with black stripes. His limbs were thick. His jaws were heavy and filled with sharp teeth. He was, fortunately, well concealed behind the thick foliage of the tree they were hiding in. Gregtha was certain no Jukla could spot him. He was not so certain about this creature. Still doesn't look that dangerous, Janza muttered. It doesn't even have claws. The terror from the sky doesn't need claws, Gregtha told him. It's slow, Janza pointed out. It's not even in the trees. It moves on the ground like some Hiksoka. That is because it is hunting Hiksoka. Gregtha tried to keep his disdain out of his voice. Janza was stupid, even for a warrior, but he ranked high amongst the Zinzo tribe. Antagonizing him would not help the hunter's cause. They can move in the trees when they wish. I've seen it. What kind of idiot hunts Hisoka on the ground? Jansa wondered. They're too fast and too wary. An ambush from above was the only way to take them. Is it? Grigtha flicked his disdainful ear to the fool. Just watch. Jansa muttered something too low to make out. His eyes settled on the monster, not the creature, Grigtha chided. Why were warriors always so dumb? He pointed to a small meadow. Watch the Hisoka. The meadow wasn't large. It was a treeless patch of grass with scant 50 laggers across. A small herd of Hisoka grazed watchfully in the meadow. Hisoka were grass-eaters. They were slightly smaller than Grigtha. The animals were furry, with long ears and small sharp horns. They had 6 legs, but their appendages ended in sharp hooves. They could not move among the trees. Hisoka made up for the slack with alertness, paranoia, and astounding speed. Even Grigtha failed to catch them more than often than not. The terror from the sky approached the meadow slowly. The creature came from downwind. It was not as silent as a hunter, but it was close. Not that it helped. The Hisoka already knew something was coming. Sets of ears perked up and swiveled in the monster's direction. How could that thing even kill a Hisoka? Jansa demanded. It has the teeth of a grass-eater. It does, Grigtha agreed. He almost pointed at the monster, but a spike of panic brought him to his senses. Do you see what he is carrying? Jansa peered at the monster. Sticks? Pointy sticks, Grigtha corrected. The monster had a number of tree pieces with him. One of them was longer than the creature was tall. The sharp stone was attached to one end. Another stick was shorter, curved, with a thin line made of sinew connecting the 2 ends. Another 15 or so smaller sticks were sticking out of a container hanging on the monster's midsection. They're just sticks, Jansa sounded dubious. What can stick do? Just watch the Hisoka, Grigtha told him. Grigtha followed his own advice. He saw when the entire herd froze. The terror from the sky was standing below the tree roughly 30 laggers from the meadow. If it took one more step, the herd would bolt. The monster didn't take that step. Instead, it pulled out one of the smaller pointy sticks. Grigtha looked away before the creature would notice him watching again. A moment later, he saw a small stick arcing down. The stick was moving fast, faster than Hisoka could run. It struck one of the animals in the side. The stick plunged deep into the beast, piercing one of its hearts. The Hisoka didn't even have a time to squeal. It simply fell. But in the name of the shades, Jansa swore, pointy sticks, Grigtha sagely explained. The rest of the herd bolted. The monster ignored them. It walked into the meadow. There it stopped. Look away, Grigtha hissed quietly. He averted his gaze. After a few seconds, a glance back at the creature. The monster was staring right at it. Grigtha almost bolted then and there. The hunter froze. He knew he should look away again, but he couldn't make himself do it. He sees us, Jasper whispered. Don't move, Grigtha whispered softly. Don't even breathe. The true Jukla waited. Grigtha stayed as still as he had ever been. His fear screamed at him to run, to swing through the trees and escape. He didn't care. To run was to die. The monster watched for several moments, then it turned and finished walking to its prey. The terror from the sky pulled the pointy stick out of the Hisoka, then hoisted the beast onto its shoulders. It started back the way it came. Grigtha let out a breath he was holding. Shades, that was close. It wasn't that close, Jinso whispered back. The warrior sounded like he was trying to convince himself more than arguing with Grigtha. The creature was on the ground and far away. We could easily escape. No, Grigtha said grimly. No Jukla has survived the creature's attention. We can outrun them for a time, but they never stop. The terrorists don't tire, and they don't slow down. Nothing we've tried can throw them off your scent. The thing would chase us until we got tired. It would kill us as it killed the Hisoka. They can't be fought, and there is no escape. He eased himself out of his hiding spot, slowly moving to the next tree. We should go. Now. Carefully. We aren't going to follow it. We don't dare, Grigtha told him. It already knows it's been watched. It might already know where we are. Jansa didn't sound sure of himself. If it is dangerous as you said, we would have attacked already. Maybe, maybe not. Grigtha continued to move away. Jansa grudgingly followed. It knows something's out here, but it might not know what, or it might not care. I've studied the terrors for weeks, and very little of what they do makes sense. Their goals are beyond our understanding. You keep saying there, as if there are many of them, Jansa noted. His nostrils flared. Just how many of these things are there? 37, Grigtha told him. 6 of them are younglings. An average tribe, then, Jansa mused. They will be no match for the Zinzo. My tribe thought the same, Grigtha reminded him. I warned them that the terrors were dangerous, that they should be left alone. His ears flattened in regret. My words were not heeded. Why not? Asked Jansa. Are you not the eldest hunter? I would have thought your words carried great weight. They should have. The hunter clacked his jaws in remembered anger. I told the largest one I'd seen, but my observation sounded unbelievable. Pointy sticks, deformed monsters controlling fire, giant flaming rocks falling from the sky. He glanced back in the direction the monster had gone. The creature was finally out of sight. Grigtha picked up pace. The other elders said that I had been aging sickness. They thought I'd lost my wits, even when I showed some of them. They refused to believe as much as they should. The Neptha tribe attacked without you, Jansa guessed. That's why you're still alive. It's worse than that, Grigtha told him. The largest elder sent our entire fighting force to kill the terrors. 42 warriors and 19 hunters. My task was to observe and lend assistance if needed. He shuddered at the memory. I warned the elders, but even I didn't understand just how deadly these creatures were. I can see that going badly, Jansa admitted. If they can all kill from 100 leggers away, that's not even the worst of it, Grigtha told the warrior. The one I showed you, it was just a hunter. Their warriors are much worse. Worse than that, Jansa sounded dubious. It killed in an instant from far away. All the monsters have pointy sticks, Grigtha explained. The warriors have something else. Loud sticks. Loud sticks. Jansa sounded more dubious. That sounds stupid. I don't know what else to call them, Grigtha admitted. Their sticks were loud. So loud. Like thunderclaps. The warriors pointed them at our tribesmen, and our tribesmen fell over dead. The entire battle was over in 2 minutes. Our warriors only managed to kill one hunter and one youngling before they fell. But they did kill some of them, said Jansa. That's good. It's good that they can die. It's not good at all. The eldest hunter disagreed. If we hadn't killed any of them, they might have left us be. He stopped. Jansa stopped behind him. Below them came a rustling sound. A thunker beast rumbled into view. It was a big one, even bigger than Jansa. 8 sturdy legs tipped with massive claws. A thick brown shell lined with bone spikes. Thunker beasts were one of the few creatures that could kill and eat a Jukva. Fortunately, this one hadn't noticed him. It ambled along, snuffling below the trees. Grigtha waited until the beast was gone before he spoke again. Less than an hour after my hunters returned to the village, the terrors came. They slaughtered everyone. Even the largest elder was helpless against the monsters. They even conjured fire. They set fire to everything, burned our homes and the trees that held them. Conjured fire? Jansa scoffed. No one can do such a thing. The terrors can, Grigtha assured him. I know how insane this sounds, Jansa. It is why I was not believed, but it is all true. I swear it on the shades of my ancestors. Grigtha shuddered again and continued. Some of the few of us escaped, but not for long. The terrors hunted us all down over the next few days. Warriors, hunters, even gatherers and younglings were not spared. Only I survived, and only because I fled before they saw me. You ran? Jansa was so shocked he stopped moving. You ran and left your tribe to die. There was no one left to save at that point. Grigtha told him, his voice bitter. You don't try to stop a falling tree, Jansa. You get out of its way. It was too late to save my village. The best I could do was warn the other tribes. I would have stayed and fought, Jansa said accusingly. Then you would be dead, Grigtha shot back, and your tribe would know nothing of the terrors from the sky. And what would you have the Zinzo do with that knowledge? Jansa demanded. You say these creatures killed your entire tribe. Would you have us take revenge for you? Shades, no, Grigtha snorted. I would have you warn the others. The territory that once belonged to the Naphtha tribe must be avoided at all costs. Avoided? Jansa wriggled his ears in confusion. If what you say is true, these creatures killed an entire tribe. What cowardly fool would let such a threat fester? The cowardly fool that wants to live, Grigtha said simply. We have 2 choices, Jansa. Either we gather every Jukla in the hidden lands to fight the terrors all at once, or we stay as far away from these monsters as we can. Anything else is death. You want all the tribes to band together, Jansa scoffed. Even the Zinzo couldn't accomplish such a thing. I know. Grigtha let out a grim howl. Honestly, Jansa, I don't think we could kill the terrors even with all 9 remaining tribes. What I've shared with you so far is barely scratches the surface of the strange and terrible things these creatures can do. I think that we should leave them alone. End of story. The author to the story has several books up on Amazon. The links are in the original story. If you head over there, give the author an update and maybe check those out if you're interested. I'd greatly like to thank our Tier 5 channel members, Caspar Arnholt, John Creighton, Manatharia, 050, Dragzoon WRE, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.